Alright, sequences. That's what we're going to be talking about now. And this has a lot of definitions. So let's start with just a sequence. A sequence is a set of numbers that follows a pattern. That's all it is. Set of numbers that follows a pattern. So 2, 6, 10, 14 follows a pattern. 2, 6, 18, 54 actually follows a pattern. 2, 6, 8, 14 follows a pattern. Now, sometimes those patterns are a little bit more involved than what we're going to talk about today. But we will talk about them in the future. Now, a sequence has certain things that are involved, like the term. A term is each number inside the sequence. So, like the 2 is a term, the 6 is a term, the 10 is a term, the 14 is a term. And we also name those terms. So like the 2 would be the first term. The 6 would be the second term. The 10 or 18 or 8 would be the third. And the 14, 54 or 14 would be the fourth term. Now when we talk about it being the first term, sometimes we talk about it being the nth term. And what that means is we're going to put in a place for in our term, in our sequence, so that when we want to find the nth term, so like the 20th term, we can just plug that number in there and figure out what that term is. Now this is a little bit more involved, but I'll show you some examples later. So a term is each number in the sequence. Finding the additional terms in a sequence is called inductive reasoning. So it's just finding extra terms. Now sometimes you can use basic math to find those extra terms, and sometimes you actually need like a formula, like an equation or a function to tell us what those are. So here's a basic example. Let's see if this is a basic sequence. Let's see what the difference is. From 2 to 6 we added 4. From 6 to 10 we added 4. And from 10 to 14, we added 4. So this is a sequence. It follows a pattern. Now, arithmetic, or arithmetic sequence, is a sequence in which each term differs by a fixed, by a fixed number. So it's different. Each term is different. But the number that it's changing by is called the common difference. So if that didn't make sense, let's go back to the other one. This is an arithmetic sequence because it changes by 4 each time. The 4 is considered the common difference. Which is also shown with a D. So people put D is equal to 4 because that's a common difference. And that's all it is about arithmetic sequences. Are actually pretty easy because you can either add or subtract. And that's it. Geometric sequences are the same thing but with multiplying. So you multiply a common number. So like on this one, it says common ratio. We want to figure out what the common ratio is. The common ratio is that number in which you multiplied each term in the sequence to get the new one. So how do I get from 2 to 6? Well, I multiplied by 3. 6 to 18, multiplied by 3. And 18 to 54, I multiplied by 3. So my common ratio is 3. Let's see on this one. 128. Well, 64 is half of 128, so that means I multiplied by 1/2. Multiplied by 1/2, and then multiplied by 1/2. So my common ratio here is 1/2. And that's what a geometric sequence is. All right, here's another type of question they'll have. They say, find the first four terms of this sequence represented by the expression 4 plus 3n. This is one of those sequences that's a little bit more involved than just adding a common difference. There's multiplication going on and addition here. So, what we do is we want to find the four terms. Now, in this case, represents the term number. Remember how I put earlier? It's like the position the term is in. So if we want to find the first term, we're going to put 1 in place of n. So here, let me show you a table. All right, so here's my table. It says position in 1, 2, 3, and 4 because we want to find the first four terms. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to do 4 plus 3 times 1 because that's a term we want to find. So remember PEMDAS, you do multiplication first. 3 times 1 is 3. And then plus 4 would be 7. So the first term in our sequence is a 7. Let's keep going. 4 plus 3 times 2 would be 6 plus 4 is 10. 4 plus 3 times 3 would be 9 plus 4, which is 13. And then 4 plus 3 times 4 would be 12 plus 4, which is 16. Now, is this arithmetic or is this a geometric sequence? Let's try to figure that out. Well, from here to here, we're adding 3. From here to here, we add 3, and from here to here, we add 3. So this is an arithmetic sequence, and the common difference is 3. Now, this was formed based on the position number, not based on the common difference. And that's it, folks. We'll talk more about it in class.